Um, uh, I would say Merry Christmas to each and everyone, and a prosperous New Year. Good afternoon, and I don't know for other people who are not in our time zones, if it is evening or morning. Uh, uh, I would say all of you are welcome for this strategic plan extraordinary meeting. To start with, I think today Taban is around. He can be our minute taker because he has been the group's, the team strategic plans minute taker. I don't know if it is okay with you, Taban.
It is okay.
All right. Thank you. To start with, I think today we will not have very many agenda items. We can have an opening prayer as our first agenda item, and then we will go straight to maybe our minutes previously, if they are there for the strategic plan. Taban, you can present them if they are there. Then our third item can be a communication specifically from me, the chairperson of the strategic plan. Then we will have discussions and recommendations as our third item. And then we close. I don't know if this agenda is okay with all of us.
Only that I'm attending the meeting from home. I don't have minutes here.
Yeah. It's okay. If you don't have them, you will share with the team on our email trail later on for them to go through our previous meetings minutes. I don't know if we need to add an item to this agenda or we adopt it and then we'll continue. Yes, Patrick, is the agenda okay?
Well, in my opinion, I think it's okay. It's probably from the discussions that some of the things are going to come out. So, yeah, I think it should be fine. I don't know what the others think. So, probably it's good to hear from them.
Yeah, I was expecting to hear from each and everyone so we can kickstart the meeting. There's Irene, there's Topista, there's Benson, and Taban. You can unmute and you speak to the agenda. So we carry on.
I think it is okay.
Thank you.
I think it's for me. It's okay. Many of things will come from the discussions and the communication.
Okay. Yes, Irene.
Yes, Emmanuel.
Yes, what do you have to tell us about the agenda? Is it okay? Can we carry on?
I'm okay with it.
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
only seeing Patrick. I think Patrick has something to say. For me, I'm okay.
Okay.
Let's proceed.
Okay, I think if we are okay with the agenda, we'll open with the word of a prayer from a member. Benson, will you wish to open for us with the word of prayer?
Yeah, sure. That's perfect. Father, thank you for this day. Thank you that you're able to bring us together to discuss this very important issue. We ask for your wisdom and knowledge and guidance on how we can proceed with. Pray all this in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. We pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Benson, for that wonderful prayer. Um, to give us God's guidance. To start with my communication, this meeting was purposely called because of the urgency for us to produce the strategic plan and the resource mobilization strategy for the year 2024 to 2028. And basing on our current stand, we have a lot of work to be done and it's overdue. So this meeting was specifically called for us, the board and the strategic plan committee, to agree on the way forwards of how we could make these documents into a pass, because it is I think overdue now. But then these are very key documents that are needed for us to run the day-to-day organization's affairs. So from our previous meeting we had, that was an emergency meeting we held on 24th of this month. We agreed that we could have an extraordinary meeting today to agree on these things jointly as board and the strategic plan and resource mobilization committee, so that we could find a way forward of how these documents can come into a pass. So today we are basically going to agree on these things: the resource mobilization and the strategic plan. And two, basing on the strategic plan, we have a lot of missing things. One, the issue of our previous engagements in the community that we had, basing on our 4 thematic areas. And that time it was resolved that today in this meeting we will come with good outcomes of assigning responsibilities to each and every one of us to see that we could make this into a pass in the shortest time possible. Two, we also said maybe today we will agree on the time length to extend the production of these 2 documents, maybe we could say 1 month, 3 months, and so on. We mention it today. We agree on the time length we needed so that we could pass a resolution as board and strategic plan to see into it that we refine these documents clearly and we come up with something presentable. So basically, this is why this meeting was called for. Otherwise, thank you all for having given your time, your commitment, and so on. Since we're in a festive season, we're supposed to be with families and so on. But then, since we're serving humanity, we said we can have the extraordinary meeting today and discuss some of these things. So basically, that will be what we will be discussing today. Otherwise, thank you all for having joined the meeting and having been here with us. I think the room is open for discussions and our recommendations and submissions from each one of us who have joined the meeting. Thank you very much. So the floor is open for us to make our submissions. We are in our third agenda item of discussions and recommendations.
Chair, if I
Yes.
may, I maybe just as a kind reminder that one of the things we did discuss in our previous meeting was passing a resolution in this meeting of whether or not to extend the existing strategic plan for a period of time while the current one is being developed based on the time frame that we'll agree in this meeting. Over to you.
All right, thank you for that submission. I think it skipped off my mind, but it is very good you've brought it up. So I would welcome submissions along that line. Since we also started the meeting somehow like 20 minutes late. So we could make our submissions and we make our recommendations as well. Thank you. We can start from anyone who is ready.
Chair, Topi has her hand up.
Yes, I was saying she can carry on.
Topi, Chair said you can carry on.
Sorry, I keep forgetting to unmute. I was speaking to myself. Thank you, Chair. I was saying that my opinion is, instead of us extending the strategic plan, it would be good to focus all our energies on working round the clock on the new strategic plan, so that whoever has an assignment should be able to help us. Because I know what we have so far come up with, we have almost everything is in there, but just how to reorganize this and make it presentable. And maybe for the things that are not there, they are at least within our reach, because the key things to note would be like, how did we perform in the previous strategic plan? So which ones are our key thematic areas moving forward? How do we intend to achieve those focus areas? And then, yeah, at least aligning them in a more presentable way. So I believe we have the resources at hand. So it would be good to focus our energies on working on the new one. Yeah, that is what I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful submission. Actually, in our previous discussion, we had made the submission and said, yes, we have structured the current strategic plan well. But then we have some missing items, like on our previous engagements in the four thematic areas that we have of livelihood, peace building, education, and environment. So that time we had a small resolution that it would be good if we have this meeting, then we attach roles to specific people. Maybe I could say me and Benson were evaluating CECI in terms of environment. How did we perform in the previous years, like from 2020 up to 2023? What are our achievements? What are our failures? Because we are still lacking those things. So we could assign roles to individuals, tag them responsible in the shortest time possible, so that we could bring those analysis and we do the cleaning, and we call it a document. Then two, there was a suggestion that if we cannot do this internally, we could hire someone else to do that. But the other time I strongly disagreed that no, we cannot hire someone from outside externally to come and work on these things. We have the expertise, we can do it ourselves. Maybe what we will do is we will bring someone outside just to check through our work and verify if it is okay, so that we pass it as a document. So basically, those were our talking points along that line. So thank you very much for bringing up that discussion forward.
Chair, if I may.
Benson, continue.
Yes, please. Yes. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yeah, this is key. I see that our role specifically now in this discussion should be looking into two things. One, with the mandate of the board to resolve an extension for the committee, if we can say like 3 months or 6 months, something of that kind, so that the document, these two documents are worked on. And then two, like the issue of the role, I think most of what I see from the document is is more on refining the wordings. Remember, the committee presented this to the general staff body. I think we went through the document, and there were few things that need to be put in place, and then also the structuring, which is not bad off, but there are other things that need to be put taken to annexes, something of that kind. So I wish that it will not take much time here, but we should be able to look into those two things so that work is done. If we will not have an external person, but with the assignment, but there should be also a time frame for the roles that will be assigned to each and everyone here. So I look at this as very important that the board take responsibility now to move that motion of resolving, passing a resolution for the extension, which will be very important for us as management to guide, because to guide us as well in the mobilization, resource mobilization, and the like. Because I'm very aware that, and they should also be aware that I think the strategic plan has come. Sorry about that. So meaning that we still have a lot of work to do, but the resolution will help us run very fast and keep us on track. Back to you. I submit.
Very much for that submission. I think Topista, your hand is up. Irene, your hand is up. We can now speak one at a time. Maybe Topista will start and then Irene. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was an old hand. Chair, sorry, it was an old hand.
It was an old hand. Okay, Irene, continue, please.
Yes, good afternoon, members, and thank you, Emmanuel, for calling for this meeting. For me, I wanted to comment on the issue Patrick raised of extending the old strategic plan, which I see is a good thing, because if we are still working on these documents, we need the other one to support the daily operation. But also we should know how much time we need and how much work is left on the current strategic plan. That is what I think can work. If we can agree as a team, then we can extend and agree together that the management continue working with the other old strategic plan while we review and work on this one. And having somebody from external source to review this document is not a bad idea. We can work on. Of course, we need those with expertise to come and support us and see if the strategic plan, it's a good one. So this is what I can say. And as we agreed last week, we would actually lessen the work by putting people in groups and giving them area of focus. And as you, the chair, you can divide this and give us time bound. We work on the documents and we give it back to you for review as you plan to invite somebody from external source to come and review the document. Thank you. I submit, Chair.
very much for that submission. I was thinking we could go straight and do the exercise of dividing our roles. Because basing on our previous discussion, I said, Benson, you could lead us in this. And since you are the head of the management, you could lead us in this, and you move a motion and identify our 4 thematic areas and the people who will be tagged with responsibilities in those thematic areas, so that we will come up with because what is left is more so like our achievements, our previous work done, and how we want to go forward. That is what is specifically our situation analysis that is left. So I am privileged to call Benson to move this into a motion, and we organize ourselves into groups. I think that way it will make us now continue. Patrick, your hand is up. I don't know if it is a
Chair.
burning. You can carry on.
Thank you, Chair. I was thinking that it probably would be very much helpful if actually, as a board, we did decide on the issue of whether to extend the existing strategic plan or not, because that will give at least perspective when it comes to the current activity that Chair you're proposing. In terms of the timeline, I think it will inform that a lot. In terms of how much time, for example, teams have to work on a certain thing, and how long the entire process might be or might take in its entirety. So I really do think that would be nice for us to actually agree on the issue of the strategic plan, because as it stands, our 2020-2023 strategic plan has expired or ended as of December 18th, 2023, if my memory has not failed me. But yes, that is the state at which we are in. I don't know what you think about it, Chair. Over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. I think, yeah, it's very important to do that. And I will request one of the board members to maybe move a motion to extend our current strategic plan that has already run out of date. And then we may be second to the motion or not. That is my thinking. Thank you. Yes, Irene.
Okay, Chair, thank you for the opportunity again. I just want to ask one question. Before we move the motion, how much time do we need to work on the current strategic plan that we are developing? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I think, like, according to my assessment, a month will be enough if we put our collective efforts and we distribute our roles. A month will be enough. That is my own assessment. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, carry on.
Is the month that you say, this time frame, is that inclusive of the amount of time that, let's say, other external persons will have in reviewing this document? Because I think I remember, based on the other conversation we had earlier, the executive director, Benson, said, if we reach a certain point in the development of this strategic plan for 2024-2028, probably would be nice, for example, to have partners like Open Capital or Warchild or other persons within Oxfam to just look through and then also provide their own comments to the entire thing before we can finally consolidate and have one final strategic plan that we can work with for the next 5 years. And also taking into account, Chair,
All right.
your comments that you had made in the previous meeting, which clearly indicated that the very first situational analysis, which I think was given about a month or so of doing that, it happens to be that only 2 people actually responded. No one else.
Sure.
Did.
Sure.
Over to you.
Yes. That I can't really now tell, because now we have different engagements and so on. So on the external persons, we are going to bring like the Hotel Canada's, Oxfam and so on. I will not know when they will respond, if it is in a month time or something. That one I can't really tell. But now it will be us to decide jointly which external persons are we involving and what does it take for them to respond to us. So it is now a collective responsibility for us to decide on the time frame. But if it was us bringing maybe someone like a consultant and so on, I know it would be immediate and a month would work. But now, since we're engaging also some of our partners, we don't know about their programmings and so on and how they respond to us. So that is now the most challenging bit.
Chair.
Thank you. Yes.
Chair, if given that you know about all these complexities, and good enough we have members of the committee who are actually here, and would be interesting to hear from them what you all think would be a reasonable time frame or amount of time.
I think that is, I have Sanyu here and Taban. And then Topista, who are part of my committee. So they can, I think, give their voice on that. I don't know. Taban, if you would like to speak to it, you can speak, please.
Yes. Can I come in?
It's
Chair?
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, and probably we're going to have a prosperous new year. Yeah, thank you so much for the meeting, and thank you for sparing time, members of the board and the management here. I'm thinking that, the discussions are fine. One is that I plea to the board and the members here to second an extension of a period for the previous strategy. And I would think that let this be for 3 months, January to end of March, so that within this period everything is done, and the approval of the new strategy will be done within the period. In the end, I mean, in the first quarter board meeting for 2024. That's my submission. Number 2 is when we talk about to allocating work that has not been done, on 24th, I apologize, I was not in that meeting. It would be very clear to have what work is left. What are those gaps that have been identified, narrated, and shared, so that the allocation of responsibility is done peculiar to what is missing, and this would be done. And then 3, Chair, I would think that when we talk about an external person for reviewing, it goes beyond War Child Canada, Open Capital, Oxfam. These are, I would probably say, they are stakeholders that are part of us, and they look for us into. I mean, they take the I would say the external eye, but getting somebody who is very skillful and knowledgeable about strategy development, an external person like a consultant would be the person that could review this better. And to me, that would take, if we give it just end of March, 3 months, so that everything is sorted. And that was also playing that the extension period could be 3 months. That is my submission, because I know refining this cannot be, though the other one was already expired, but when you give it an extension, it can still be valid, so that we come up with a comprehensive and lasting strategy that covers all what we need. That is my submission. Thank you.
Very much for your submission. I think I've gotten some key things from your submission. One, you had already given a time frame which you suggested to this forum. Then 2, you asked of how much work is left. To answer you, the work which is left is to do situational analysis basing on our previous work in the 4 thematic areas. So exactly what we are remaining with is what we have done previously and what we expect to do in 2024 to 2028. So that is the work which has been left, which we did not touch in that strategic plan that we have currently as a draft. So basically, that is, I think, what is left. Then on the timing, I think some of my members are here. They can still speak to it. So Pista, if you have anything, you can also speak to it, because you're part of the strategic plan committee. And Sanyu, I would wish to hear from you people.
Thank you, Chair. Just like what Taban has just said, I think to me 3 months would be adequate if we really refocus all our attentions, and given that this data we are not getting from outside, we have the data. So we need to bring it out there so that the work can be completed. So if we can refocus and bring out this data clearly, then within 3 months, it is possible. And like he has already stated, I would like to also reiterate that if we are getting consultants, maybe a consultant to review, it may take a shorter time as compared to if we get some of these partners. Of course, they have the expertise, yes. But will they be willing to work within our time frame? We can still explore both options if we are able to get someone who is willing to review among the partners, because I know from our previous dealings, even like with Oxfam, they had expertise who are willing to review your work for you, because they had that capacity building component. So if we can ably get such a person, it will be okay. But where we fail, then we may have to go for the external consultant who may take a shorter time. So to me, the 3 months would be adequate if we put all our efforts together. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful submission. I would also wish to hear from Sanyu, and then Patrick, your hand is up. You will now make your submission afterward.
Thank
Sanyu,
you so much.
speak.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair. Good afternoon, team. Well, I do agree with the submissions from the two members about giving an extension of a period of 3 months. Well, I believe within those 3 months, our work will be done. And then also about involving an external eye to have a look through the strategic plan and advice. I'm not sure about the partners, just as Topista said, their willingness and maybe whether they will be able to fit into the 3 months extension. I'm not sure about that, but if at all they are willing, of course. Otherwise, I would also suggest an external consultant, just as Topista submitted. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the submission. Patrick, I think you want to speak so that we move on.
Yeah, it's an old hand.
Sorry.
Yeah, Chair, if I may. Yeah, thank you. Submissions, these are genuine submissions. And in terms of external support, yes, the management has signed an agreement. I mean, a letter of commitment with Open Capital, whom they are more on building policies, making some of these documents, right? So I think that they could be able to support in that regard, and of course, Oxfam's there. For Child Canada, we already developed a capacity strengthening plan. We identified few gaps that would be really very helpful in this process. So not necessarily getting a consultant as such, but of course they will be acting like consultants. So at the same time, my proposal would be that let us move the motion to have the days of the committee and the strategic plan be extended up to March 2024 to allow this other identification of gaps and the like filling them, and yeah. So that is my submission.
Thank you very much. Before we move the motion, we need to move the motion for both these two documents, the strategic plan and the resource mobilization strategy. So I would request a board member maybe to move the motion for both the two documents. Thank you. Any board member or a strategic plan and resource mobilization committee member can move the motion. Then we second to it.
I propose Irene to move if it is okay, and then the rest can be able to conform to that.
Chair, Topi has her hand up.
Mr. Continue, please.
Thank you. Like Benson had said, I had started moving the motion. Maybe she could continue with it because she just needed a clarification.
I think it's okay, Irene. The floor is yours. Irene, are you getting us? I think Irene is not getting us. Benson, will you wish to move the motion? Yes, Topista.
Thank you, Chair. I think I hereby move the motion to extend our current strategy plan and also to extend a review for the new strategic plan to March 2024. I submit.
Yes, members, we can second to it. Feel free to unmute and second to the motion.
Patrick, do you want to second on the motion?
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
I do second the motion and would suggest that we put a definite date to it. So if it is March 2024, can we have a specific date to it?
Thank you. I think March ends on 31st, so we could say 31st of March. How do we see?
I second the motion to which is being moved on the two documents, the strategic plan and the resource mobilization plan, up to 31st of March 2024. I submit.
March. Can we have other people seconding or?
I second.
Taban? Thank you. Sanyu, are you okay with it? I think from me, I also second the motion of extending of the two documents up to 31st of March 2024. Unfortunately, Irene cannot get us, and we have not gotten her view as of now, but maybe she will get a view as the meeting continues. Now, the other discussion point was on assigning roles to do situation analysis for our 4 thematic areas from 2020 up to 2023. So I would wish to invite Benson to take lead in this. Thank you.
Chair, if I may.
Yes, carry on.
First, thanks to you and members for resolving to extend the strategic plan and the resource mobilization strategy for 2020-2023 to March 31st, 2024. I think that another thing maybe as we move towards drawing like the timelines and assigning roles and responsibilities regarding the remaining work that has to do with the strategic plan development, we could probably also agree or resolve on the issue of extending the time frame of the strategic planning committee work. Because I think from the initial meeting that established this committee and the mandate that it gave it, the committee was only supposed to work and exist until December 31st or 30th of this year, 2023. And I think it would be nice for us to discuss and see that we can extend the mandate and the time frame of the work of the committee to as well either 31st or to when we see fit. Over to you, Chair.
All right, thank you very much for brought that up. I think, yeah, that is really necessary for us to do. And from my thinking, I was thinking we could move a motion to extend the strategic plan and the resource mobilization committee's mandate to that period. But then also I was having a thinking that yes, that period of the committee is only for the development of the plan. Because still the committee will exist since they will have to do follow-up of the implementation as well of this same plan which we are developing. So it is a good idea to extend the committee's roles. So I would also request maybe a member to move a motion on that before we could move to the next agenda. Thank you. I was thinking any member can move the motion, then we second to it. if we're okay with it. Yes, Topista.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I have another suggestion. Yes, we may extend the work of the as ones but the stage where we have reached, I believe we can still get inputs from other members who may not necessarily be part of the committee to also chip in as we move towards the completion of this strategic plan. Because right now we have put the, should I say, the draft in place. So now it's about a few fixes here and there. So as we think about extending the work of the committee, we also need to look at the support that we may need from other members of the board or even the secretariat to come up with the final draft.
Thank you very much for that submission. I think on behalf of the Secretariat, we would also request Benson to speak to that, and maybe Patrick also speak on behalf of the board to this discussion. Thank you. Benson.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. And we no, it is an engaging work which calls for really commitment. And on behalf of the Secretariat, we will be working hand in hand to ensure that documents are out. And of course, on this mandate, I will second the extension of the committee. Yeah, committees are appointed, and of course they have their time frame. But for this, we really wish that their mandate is extended up to 31st of March, 2024, for the fulfillment of the already identified gap that need to be filled. I submit.
Thank you for your submission. Patrick, request you also to speak on behalf of the board so we can move the motion.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think from the very time when the committee was established, I think from the last meeting of 2022 or the first meeting of the quarter of 2023, I think one of the things that was made very clear in that board meeting was that the committee, whereas is only composed by a few number of people that have been appointed to be a part of it from the board and the management, it was up to the committee to basically engage with everyone else, whether it being from the board or from the management, to come in and support the work of the committee if there is need. And I think probably, as some of you might have witnessed, that has been happening, I think. Because I think we've been receiving documents that have to do with the activities of the committee, even when we are not direct members of the committee per se. So yeah, absolutely. If there is a need, I think I would urge that committee members feel free to reach out to any board member if they need any help with something. Yeah, over to you, Chair.
Very much for your remarks specifically to this item. I think from the formation of the committee, we had agreed that we would work with everyone at the management level and the board level. And you people can attest to it that we've been working together. But then the only thing has been we were not let me say, I don't know, for lack of a better word, we have not done this in the required time which we were supposed to produce this document. And that's why we were saying, me on behalf of the committee, I would say it will be good if we can extend the committee's mandate to 31st of March 2024. So I would request a board member or a committee member to move a motion to extend the committee's mandate, and then we second to it. Thank you.
Chair, can I come in?
Yeah. Yes.
I think with the authentic guidance, we would think that the extension motion should be moved by a non-member of the committee because they are extending they may be moving a motion to extend their own term, which is yeah.
All right, it's okay. Maybe since what Patrick, I will request you now, as we are not directly involved in the committee, I would request you to move the motion so that we would second to it.
Thank you, Chair. I move the motion to extend the mandate of the Strategic Planning and Resource Mobilization Committee to March 31st, 2024. Over to you, Chair.
Right, thank you very much. We can now second to it. Feel free to unmute again.
Yes, Chair, if I may. Yes, Chair.
Yes, Benson.
Yes, as per the motion, based on the vast work of the committee, I second the motion being moved by Mr. Patrick, the board chair. I submit.
Thank you. Yes, Topista, Taban, Sanyu, Irene, I don't know if you're back.
Yeah, I'm here now. Sorry, I stepped out. Our dog was disturbing people, so I got out to tie it back. Sorry.
Okay. We had Mr. Patrick moved the motion to extend the mandate of the Strategic Plan and Resource Mobilization Committee up to 31st of March 2024. So would like to also know your view if you are seconding to the motion.
Yes, I second it because they haven't accomplished the target. So it's good for their term to be extended. But is much enough? Have too much? I don't know.
Mm,
Yeah, if much is
okay.
enough, that's okay. Me, I just second it.
All right. Thank you. Sanyu Taban Topista.
I second. Second. I'm writing.
Thank
This time I'm talking small.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Chair, I also do second.
Okay. Yes, Patrick.
Chair, I think one of the members said something that made me think of another thing, particularly what Irene said about whether that timeline is enough. And it also made me question my own motion that I moved to myself. Because I'm thinking, I know it's funny, because I am thinking, okay, if by the time, for instance, that the strategic plan is developed and approved by March 31st, or particularly the second in the meeting of the first quarter of the board, probably in the second week of April 2024, if the strategic plan is approved in that meeting, probably the next thing would be to put the strategic plan into, I don't know, a shareable format, if that makes sense, which would require some graphic works and so forth, which I presume would actually require working together with the committee, because they would have to review and see that the representation of everything else is in order. So I am now in doubts about my own motion that I moved. Sorry about that.
All right. Sorry. To me, I was thinking, yes, the committee still exists, even after 31st of March, because the committee's work will not end by 31st of March. Much as we are implementing the plans after that date, the committee still has a role of following up whether the plan is put into correct implementation. So I should clear the doubt that the committee will still be there to do the follow-ups and so on, and maybe give reports to the board on how the secretariat is implementing its plan. So that is my thinking.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, yes. So that is my thinking. But then that mandate is for the committee to continue developing the strategic plan and the resource mobilization. So after the development, the committee still continues to exist, but then it will do its follow-up roles now. Because literally, we even have a finance and audit committee that developed a finance policy, and the committee still exists just because it is doing a follow-up of that policy, whether the policy has been put into practice or not. So basically, that is it, to clear your doubts. I don't
Can
know
I
if
come?
I've
I have a submission. Can I have a submission?
Yes.
Yeah. Through you, Chair, I need to seek a guidance from board chair on one, the working committees of the board. Two, these established committees that accompany certain tasks. And you know, in the constitution, such tasks need to be defined so well. And I think for the other committees like finance, human resource, and the like, they are clearly defined there. I would think working committees like this are short term, and upon completion of a task, they submit the task to the board, and it becomes the responsibility of the board to do implementation follow-ups, unless otherwise, when deemed necessary, that the board requires a review of the strategic plan and makes a call to the committee to be re-established. So that's the guidance I need to seek from the board chair, whether a working committee can therefore be established beyond some period of submission of a document like this. That I need their guidance.
All right, thank you for that submission. Board chair, you can respond.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you, Taban, for the question. Well, how our committees work is not very far from that. It's literally the same way. We have standing committees such as, for example, the Finance Committee that has already been mentioned by the Chair, which continues to work even after, for example, developing policies and stuff that is done, because it's a committee that its work is ongoing and is not particularly constricted with a specific time frame, which was not the case when the strategic planning committee was particularly being instituted during the board meeting. It particularly had a specific time frame from which to start and complete its work, and that is the difference. But can the committee, in the long run, with agreement from the board, become more like a standing committee and operate more like the way the finance committee does? Absolutely, at the board level, the members can agree, and that can happen. Yeah, but is the board responsible for following up implementation of the plan and so forth? Absolutely, yes. Can the committee play a role in doing that? Absolutely, yes. Because whether the committee is the one that does it or whether the board is the one that does it, either way, still, it's a very streamlined process that the information, the endpoint is still the board. Yeah, over to you, Chair.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know, Taban, if you are satisfied with the response or you would maybe wish to speak.
Yeah, I'm very satisfied.
Okay, thank you very much. I was thinking we could first go and assign our roles to do the situational analysis basing on our thematic areas, and this is a role which is solely vested on Benson. I would request him to take us through, if we are okay with our previous discussions. Unless someone still has something to say, I would welcome Benson to take us through this process.
Yes, Chair, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I think looking into this, I still say the mandate is given to the committee to work on, to refine particularly those key areas. And yeah, with the way it had been, okay, bringing the management, the staff together to have this the analysis of the context in life. So yeah, that's what I am thinking. But nevertheless, like you already proposed, we can have, like if we need to have specific role for based on the thematic areas, I would say this will solely be with an engagement of the program team to look into it. Otherwise, that is what I'm looking at. It can be general. But when you look at previous projects, you know, our 2022 report, it has defined all some of those things. Only just what is required is just the refinement. So I don't know, but still I stand to be guided on that. Because if we will make it very specific, I don't know, it might not be, I don't know. Yeah, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much for your submission. I will also wish to be guided on how we could do this, because we are trying to get a way forward. Patrick, your hand is up. You could also help. And then Taban, you are around. You're part of the program team. You could also help and give us a small guidance here, how we can reach an agreement. Thank you. Patrick, you can continue.
Thank you, Chair. I see that Irene is as well ready to go, so I will make it short. I think from the previous meeting we had, one of the things we clearly saw that was missing from the current plan is basically, for example, is already what you defined, but more specifically is that missing context analysis when it comes to specific areas that we seek to pursue in the next 5 years. For example, let's say a context analysis of the general, operational situation in Uganda when it comes to refugees. And then when it comes to, for example, peace building, what is the situation like? Whether it being in terms of conflicts, whether it being in terms of the statistics, in terms of those kind of stuff are missing when it comes to things like, for example, education. When it comes to stats like, what is the situation like when it comes to education for refugees, for girls, all those kind of stuff. That seems to be missing, because it's that provides us a very strong foundation from which to set our operational objectives for the next 5 years. And so that seems to be missing. And I think that if we are going to assign people to also to work on each thematic area, would be really nice to have actually people that have an understanding of that area, such that we can actually have a submission from them that is actually useful. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much for your wonderful submission. I would also wish to be guided from Taban how we go with this action we are almost taking. Taban,
Yes, Chair. I think I want to agree with board chair Patrick for that submission, and I think that is the whole honors of the strategy. If you don't have an operating environment, you don't have a context of the operating environment, you don't have the statistics and the like, the strategic plan responds to nothing, because that's where you base everything. You base your activities, interventions, you base your approaches on the context. And it's a welcome idea if we have thematic based analysis, but we would also have a general context analysis of our situation of operation. And honestly, the response to the refugee to humanitarian has changed from emergency. It's now going towards development. From development, it is migrating to resilience building, a response to climate change and greening. So where the space will even change before we'll complete the strategy. But it's good to have a current situation analysis based on where we have come from. And to me, we would not have a lot of committees to assign here and there. Can we have 2 or 3 people who can have a comprehensive context analysis presented, 2 or 3 pages, and then this is shared, scrutinized by the committee, and will give your responses. As also earlier alluded to, the response to documents seems to be very low, but would chip in an idea that this need to be a very small committee, comes up with the write-up of our situation analysis, the operating environment, and where we want to go and where we started from. And this is presented, and the comments are good. We just put it there. But the context analysis is a very, very important component of the strategy. And it also informs everything that will be, even proposal development will be referring to that context analysis. If well done, I think it takes a very good mile for us to fit into the operating environment, both humanitarian and development. Thank you so much.
before you go off, basing on your submission, I would want you to give us a way forward. How do we do this, and who do we assign? Because you said it should be a small group. Who do we assign? Since you are part of the secretariat and so on, and you know what has happened, and you have been part of the implementation. So, how do you want us to go by this?
I want to submit that I understand you. If she accepts, we should be given some small time to write up a context analysis and situation analysis of our operation. And I think that will inform how we want to be. That's my
Okay, thank you very much for that submission. I think someone can come in and we speak to that. Taban has said him and Sanyu could work on this, and they only need a small time to respond to our call. So we would also want a board member maybe to make a submission small on what he has said.
Chair, my hand is up. Chair, my hand is up. Can I go? I can't hear what you're saying.
Carry on, please.
Okay, thank you. So Chair, I wanted to say that I think from the conversation we had, to begin with, the proposal made by by Taban is actually amazing. If they actually can work with the Sanyu and develop a context analysis, that would be fantastic. Yeah, if we can develop a context analysis for basically all our that assesses the context within each thematic area, that would be really fantastic. And I think one of the things we had discussed in the previous meeting was that if need be, we could pair literally some board members with some members within the management, but that is only with the permission of those particular board members, but also of the committee, if they see that as something that is good to do. Because we're looking at, okay, we could have these members work on specific thematic areas, basically the context analysis of each area, whereas the committee chair, who is Loate Emmanuel here, could work on the general picture of basically the context of Uganda in general as a nation. So it would narrow down from the international and then focus more on the nation. Yeah. Over to you, Chair. And Chair, we have Irene here. I think Irene would also add more. She was there in that discussion. I probably might have forgotten some stuff.
Irene, you can make your submission.
Okay,
Please.
thank you,
Anything else?
Chair. The conversation is good, and I love the commitment from the management team. But as Patrick asked, I was about to ask the same questions. Is Patrick and Sanyu going to do a general context or on specific thematic area? Because we've got areas that, and let me say, for a very good strategic plan, we need to have situation analysis for every thematic area. If it is peace building, we assign some people to do for peace building. The general one, they can do, or they can choose a part, but we have to divide this for us to achieve a comprehensive report or work. Because if we are going to, maybe I would say people choose those who are good at peace building. They say, okay, let's do situation analysis on peace building and livelihood like that. Then we give deadlines when that report is needed. And we are not only going to look at internal factors, we're going to look at external and internal factors. And for us to have a very good situation analysis, we have to involve the local people that we serve. That means if we are pairing up, like me, who is in Kampala, I need to be paired up with somebody who is in Bidibidi or that location that we are doing the situation analysis. Because if people look at our strategic plan, it has to be unique. It should have the voice of the people we serve. So that's how I look at it. Maybe we can have maybe 2 or one leader that we can talk to and ask, because situation changes every time. Factors that contribute to conflicts changes every time. Not everybody who is in the camp, is there because of maybe flee war. Some people came because of climate change. And what is making people to move from one settlement to another? There are factors. So for us to do this in a very comprehensive matter, let's pair up, break this into small pieces, and have people do this work in a very professional way. Let's just give deadline. This is what I can say. It's very good for us to commit, but let's break this. Let's divide the work. Let's pair up and get what we can do for us to get a very good situation analysis. Then the overall one can be done by a small group of people. This is what I can say. Chair, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Irene, for your submissions. They were really very good. Patrick, your hand is up.
Chair,
Yes.
Chair, before you make your final comments, I wanted to just add to what Irene already said, and say that we already have a very good proposal before us. Two individuals who are willing to work on the context analysis. And that is Tavan and Sanyu. I think if they are willing to do that, we can probably hear more from both of them, because we heard it from Tavan, we haven't heard from Sanyu. It would be fantastic. First of all, it would save us time, but also would provide like guidelines on what, and we would literally be able to edit. Basically, we would review what they have already worked on. It definitely it saves a lot on either ends. Yeah, over to you, Chair.
Thank you for that submission. Sanyu, would you wish to speak to it?
Sanyu has got off. She's struggling with network issues. Let me text her and see.
As we wait for her to get online, I was thinking we could take a decision as a group. So Taban's proposal was excellent, and Irene's proposal was also excellent. So out of the two proposals, which one do we go with? I would also make the floor open so we can make a decision on the two proposals.
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
let's hear from Taban and Sanyu. If they're ready to do the work, then we can complement on their work. If it is done the way it's supposed to be done. But if they think it's going to be too much on them, then of course we break it. We give them some part, and some part we give to other people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The problem here is Sanyu is currently off the meeting, and we really can't whatever get her view. I don't know how we will go by this.
Chair.
Maybe okay, Patrick.
No, I was just trying to inform Chair that maybe he can continue, whereas I try to get in touch with Sanyu.
Exactly. I think that's good. Even that's what I wanted to propose, that maybe Taban himself called and share with her that he suggested something like this. So what is her opinion? and Taban gets back to us. What do you think, Patrick?
I think, Irene, this is going to be so much to do with the committee itself, which is task. Do they see that as a good thing? Because at the end of the day, it's whichever decision that we make, it's going to come down to the committee to take lead in implementing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's nice from Irene, but I can see Sanyu is back.
Back, yeah.
Yeah, so Sanyu, we had been here making submissions in regards to who is supposed to be attached with the roles of doing the context analysis. And Taban made a proposal that you and him can try to do that. Then, as the committee and the board will now make the refining after your work is done. So we would like to know from you if you will be available with Taban. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I will be.
Hello, we are not getting you, please.
Hello, Chair. Yes, I said I will be available. I'll be available.
Sorry, Sanyu, unfortunately, I can't hear you. I don't know if some of the members have heard what you said.
Yes,
Because
I
your
think
voice.
she has just confirmed that she will be available. If I'm not wrong, other members can also confirm.
Okay.
If I've heard her word.
All right, if she has confirmed that she would be available, I will think we'll assign this role to Taban and Sanyu. And maybe what we are left with is to give them a time frame to give us their final submissions. Maybe we could make a suggestion on how much time do we have to give them to come up with their final submission.
Chair.
Yes.
How about we actually ask them how much time they would need? Because I do think that, Chair, given that you are the head of the committee in the first place, these timelines might change based on need. But it's good that we have this, but probably knowing how much time they will need and so forth, I think would be something that would probably be nice to know directly from Taban and Sanyu. And I think, but again, some of these specific things are now issues of the committee, and particularly the committee chair, to work on them and then give us a report and say, this is now what will happen. Yeah. because otherwise we also run into the danger of having to decide for the committee what they cannot do in what time. Over to you, Chair.
All right. Thank you very much for that submission. What I would request is I would request Taban and Sanyu to speak to us and maybe give us how much time they need so we can carry.
Can I submit?
It's okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know all the zeal and the energy we have to ensure these documents come to living, and I think it is the gas is in everyone, the board and the management. We do a lot of works with Sanyu together, and when I suggested this was based on a sharing that we had before. So I would think the week one is we're doing a lot of reporting, quarter and annual, and then preparation for the board meeting. The third week of January would get the first draft of this context analysis, situation analysis shared, yeah, for people to add. But I like the idea of thematic based. So in essence, if we share it early, we will now have expertise, thematic based expert to ensure they scrutinize the thematic based situation analysis. And I submit that we're doing this because seeing one into the time, two, also dividing this here and there, time will go, and then the compilation will become so difficult. So the draft comes, then everything that we want to add will now be added into the draft, and we are going to do both the general and the thematic based situation analysis with the Sanyu. The earliest, latest by third week of January, we'll have this submitted so that we add it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
Sanyu is
very
also there. Sanyu is there. He will also talk. You know,
yeah.
these days you don't talk for female gender. You talk for
Yeah, please.
Yes, Chair, I hope you can hear me now.
Yes.
I think I agree with my colleague. Third week of January is fine with me. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, my network.
Thank you much. Thank you very much for that submission. So, many taker, please put that in our notes that third week of January we should have produced that or something else. And in
No.
summary, I think we have spoken much of the things that we were supposed to speak. What is left here is only, I think, one thing that I was thinking it is very important. One, we had not made the decision on the choice of the external persons who we will involve to review these documents. And then two, when do we have to make them available for them so that we'll beat that deadline of 31st of March. So to me, I was thinking those were the only two remaining issues that we need to iron them out. Thank you.
Chair, if I may.
Yes.
first of all, thanks to Sanyo and Taban for really like accepting to do this. This is amazing. And maybe I don't know, my guideline would be that if they're working on it, whether it being, for example, both the general and the specific thematic areas, would be really nice to like basically provide as much information as possible, and probably let's just have like a minimum of 2 pages for each area, so that we have this huge chunk of information, and then from the review we can basically be able to filter down into as little as possible based on the value of what we have at that time and what probably might need to be added or something like that. And regarding the choice of external persons, I think I'm going to leave to the members to comment on that. Over to you, Chair.
All right. Thank you very much. Members who have these items to decide on. One, we decide on the external persons, and then the time frame we needed to give them our final copies, so that they can also make their inputs where necessary. In my view, I wanted us to make a choice or go with both. That maybe we can use our partners like Oxfam, Water, Holland, and so on, who have already made their commitments, and also involve a consultant, so it would be perfectly well. That is just a suggestion from me. But then we can decide jointly. And two, since Taban and Tom are going to work on this, and they said 3rd week of January, we could refine this within 1 week or 2 weeks. Then we will allow a long period of time, like maybe a month, for our external partners now to do their work, or the consultant on the document. That is how I was thinking. Thank you. Anyone can give his or her submission along that line.
Oh, okay, Chair. May allow me. Thank you for the commitment from Tabana and Sanyo. And I think we are still open, all of us, in case you want to reach out to us before sharing the documents, feel free, especially the committee. I think the chair will work closely with you guys. Will always be available to make sure that if you need any guidance, any information, you'll be given. Then about the external people that we need. I don't know if we are looking at our partners. Chair, you may guide me and the members. If we are looking at the partners, are we targeting individual? Like if we are talking about Oxfam, are we targeting someone in Oxfam? Like maybe we say, okay, let's give the documents to Lydia to review, or we just send to Oxfam. And I see it does not make sense for us again to get our partners and again a consultant. I don't know that well. I need to be guided, but I think if we are sending to a consultant, because it will be good for us to work with consultant than our partners. But also our partners, of course, they have ideas to guide us. But consultants, they always do final work and they do good work. If we are talking about March, I don't know if we shall have enough time to, do this with our partners and again consultants. I really need guidance here, Chair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Irene, for your submission. I was thinking we could involve both a consultant and the partners, because yes, from the partner side we might not get their response immediately. So it would also be nice if we involve a consultant who will always be there for us and we work closely with the person. But since the partners' involvement is also very important, it would be nice to bring them in this commitment we're in. And on the partner side, we of course work with the partners and their individuals that we already work with. So we will consult them, not entirely the whole organization. We will attach the roles to those individuals that we are working with already. So help us. Specifically, that is how I was thinking. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think like that is good. Getting individuals within those organizations, and maybe about getting a consultant, we would inquire with the management, and also the board chair is here, the previous strategic plan. If there was consultant who supported the process, we can get the same consultants to help us. Then if not, we need probably to find another consultant who can help us do that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I think Patrick, would you wish to speak to this?
Yes, sir. Can I submit? Oh,
Chair, Taban wanted to say something. Do I go or do I allow Taban?
but we continue. I've unmuted.
Okay. Well, just in the existing strategic plan was developed internally, not by a consultant. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much for having brought that up. I think we've all had. So I would request us to have a concrete decision on those two items. One, on which external persons we are going to use, and then the deadlines we're giving ourselves. Because I was thinking it would be good if we give these things to them earlier, like maybe February, early February, so that they could work on this and revert to us in the nearest time possible. So that is my thinking. That's why I asked to discuss about that as a team here.
Chair.
Thank you. Yes.
Taban wanted to say something.
Yes.
Taban, you can carry on, please.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Patrick. Two things. One is that if we're talking about partners, already we Benson is not in the meeting now, but I think he was able to say that Open Capital Agency has already a contract with us, with CECI, for system strengthening, and one of the key items we discussed were issues of policy, issues of resource mobilization, and issues of the strategy. And in our discussions, the three documents have informed every discussion, which 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 have yielded positive response from the organization. And when I think when we'll communicate officially, which I think Benson would do, Benson could write to them on the need of urgency to have this document done, and even have the draft shared the way it is to open capital, and we see how they can help. Number two is in our resource, in our organization development paper for Our Child Canada, we've already submitted our development plan. Our capacity development needs and the strategic plan, the issue of also the resource mobilization plan, and system strengthening policies are also there. We were happy. We've already received the work plan, the capacity development work plan of Watch Child Canada, which has been approved and has been submitted already. Allocations have been done. We'll also be receiving support for strategic plan development. And I think when we talk about a consultant, I would think let's still consider open capital as the partner that will support us into this, and also talk to Watch Child Canada for resourcing, which I think will take a very good response from the team. From these partners. So would think I propose that the external partners and individual will hold it. We can have this discussion within the first 2-3 weeks of January and see how Watch Child Canada and Open Capital can have this considered. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I think the idea you've brought here is really a wonderful one. On behalf of the Secretariat, I would say now we could maybe say we attach that role of engaging open capital. Since Benson is not on the meeting currently, you would continue making that engagement with open capital so that they can help us review the document after our final refining. And that would be around February. That was my thinking. I don't know how other people will make their submissions along my proposal.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I second the proposal to basically have this done in February, at least maybe by either the first or the second week. At least should be like now we have a draft that is now ready for our external persons that we agree who they are to basically look through it. And in any event, should the decision be made that a consultant would be engaged, that means definitely the process of engaging such a person would have to start immediately from the very beginning of the new year. But that would require conversations, particularly with the management team, who would need to inform us about budgets and stuff like that. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you very much. I think for me, I would go by that decision. Since Taban has strongly said they had a capacity development plan signed with some of our partners, we should first leave the issue of a consultant and we try to engage our partners. And I would suggest that we will say Taban should start engaging the partners as early as January, uh, to see into it that by February we are sharing our draft with them. Basically, that is how I was thinking. And I would maybe request that maybe as a committee and board, we could move a motion on that and we second to it, and we can call it a day. Thank you. Irene, would you wish to move for us a motion on that?
I would do that, but let me allow Taban to do that. Then I'm going to second. If you may allow, Chair.
It's okay. Absolutely.
Chair,
Yes.
Chair, my Chair, my view on this would be a little bit different and say, when it comes to these very specific things such as these ones, which are particularly decisions that ideally should have happened at the committee level if it wasn't because of these other issues that now we're discussing now. These are more like basically, I don't know, it's like action points that we are giving to the committee that at least we should get this done between this time and that. Yeah, I don't know if it would do, I don't know if it would require a body resolution, but I don't know, because I just think like this is more like I don't know, action points that we are basically assigning to the committee and say, look, at least by this period of time, you should have this done. I don't know. It probably doesn't make sense. Over to you, Chair.
I think in addition to Chair, in addition to Patrick's thing, these are more like resolutions, recommendations, and actions. To me, I think moving motions and seconding them is okay, but I think these are recommendations.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I have really
Yes,
understood.
Chair.
I think Irene, you
Yeah.
can make your mission.
Okay. For me, I want to be in the middle, neutral, by saying whether we move motion or we give it as a recommendation, it doesn't change the meaning. Let's just have this done on time, and we engage with our partners, they help us. But the
Yes.
idea of the consultants is what I want to talk about it a little bit, that let's first use the available resource. I'm happy to hear from Taban that we have partners that are willing to support us. So let's first eliminate or leave the issue of the consultants for now and engage with our partners, submit our documents on time, and we make sure this is worked upon. And I was not online. I don't know if we have extended some period for the management to continue using the current strategic plan, and for how long? And when we expect this to be ready? Because this has to coordinate. I was not there, so I don't know how long we are going to use the current strategic plan, and when do we intend to have this ready. I know that by March, we are extending the term of the committees by March, but what about the documents? When will it be ready? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Irene, for brought that. You were offline, but then we had moved motion. One was to extend the committee's mandate up to 31st of March. And the second was to extend our current strategic plan and resource mobilization strategy up to that same period of 31st of March. I'm sorry you were offline. That's why you didn't really get our conversation. But otherwise, we had already done that earlier on.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good.
Yes. So I think up to this far, we've already exhausted exactly what we called this meeting for. Maybe what will be left is to now do a follow-up with individuals, and I could recommend that I would work closely with the secretariat, maybe on phone calls, on case-by-case situation, so that we make this into a pass. And I will also appreciate if I call some of the board members, if there is a need for them to help, and they really give me the necessary information where need be. Basically, I am thinking we have already exhausted most of the reasons we have called this meeting, unless we have maybe any other thing from a member here that can be put forward. Then we can have a prayer, a closing prayer, and we adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say thanks to everyone for squeezing time to come attend this today. I know it's time for holidays and stuff, and the fact that everyone could make it to it today, it means a lot. Thank you so much. Over to you, Chair.
Right. Thank you very much, and I will also want to appreciate each and everyone's commitment to CECI. We are serving humanity, and we have dedicated our time to serving humanity. I pray that this spirit continues in us, and I also pray that God gives us more, so that we will continue serving the people we are with. Lastly, since Benson opened for us with the word of prayer, I think it would be nice when we balance. Maybe Irene or Sanyu could also close for us with the word of prayer.
Sanyu there, if she's not there, I will pray. No, she has to drop off. Chair, I can close it with a word of prayer.
It is okay. It is okay. Carry on.
Okay. Let's humble ourselves and pray. Thank you, King of Glory. Thank you that you were with us from the beginning of our meeting up to the end, Father. Thank you. We call upon your blessing on everything that we've discussed, Father. Make it a fruitful one, O King of Glory, Father. You said anything we discuss without you is nothing. Implement our plan and make it work, O King of Glory, Father. I give this day into your hand. I surrender everybody into your hands, Father. Thank you for being with us, Father. We call upon your protection. Body, Father. Those who attended and those who have not attended, Father, be with them, O King of Glory, Father. And we pray that this organization grow, Father. Let your will be done on this organization, O King of Glory, Father. I don't want to bother you so much, O King of Glory, Father. I pray all this and believe in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Happy New Year to each and everyone, please. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you very much.
Happy New Year to Taban. Happy New Year to Ayo Irene. Happy New Year, Loate Emmanuel. Happy New Year, Sanyu Sharon.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Let me leave the meeting.
All right, no problem. Sharon and Taban.
Happy New Year. Yes. Yes, Sarah. Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Taban,
Yes.
I actually wanted to ask you, sorry, Sharon dropped off. I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
the women that attended the refugee women conference,
Yes.
they were from how many villages?
Wow. This, we have we now have a big number of the women and girls forum.
Yes.
It is almost taking all the villages of zone 3.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
But predominantly they are in 6 villages.
Yeah.
But we're able to pick some women from zone 1. I mean, from cluster 1 and the like. We work in cluster 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
We have three villages from each cluster. But our
That is for
committee now
Bidibidi.
extends to, yes, for Bidibidi.
Okay.
And then for Invepi,
Yeah.
we are working with we're working with Yeta
Mm-hmm.
youth. Yes, we're implementing the same activities with Yeta under the peace building project.
Yeah.
So we extended an invitation for them to get members of their women-led fora, the sister ones that we have.
Yeah.
So they came with the two, the chairperson of the women-led fora for Yeta, and then they came with the project person who is a female, and then the chairperson. There's another WC one something, yeah. But
Yeah.
they were three women that participated from Invepi plus one male person, and those are all attached to Yeta. Yeta is a consortium member in the peace building project.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in total, how many villages can I use?
Oh, but now for Invepi, I can't figure the villages. But for our villages in zone 3, yeah, these women came from 9 villages.
9 villages. Okay.
Yes.
9 villages.
Yes.
So for Invepi, would you approximate?
Oh, now because there are only few participants, it would
Are they from
suffice
one village
that
or 2 villages?
No, they can't come from. I've not figured out, but I think for it to be even bigger, merging Yeta in Mvepi as a partner represented by women, by the women-led fora, from there would be a good one. But I think these women were, I know two of them. The other one comes from Zone 4 in Mvepi. The other one comes from Zone 2. The other two, I can't really. No, two people came from Zone 4. They because those are Congolese, their Lurus are all in one zone. I don't know why. So the male person and one of the women came from Zone 4. One of the refugee leader comes from Zone 2. But I can't tell where the staff came from, the female staff.
Okay, so in that case, my assumption is going to be that since one comes from Zone 2, she's from one village, and then since another comes from Zone 4, she's from one village. And then I'll just make it all together to be 11 villages.
11 villages, yes, that is better. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
So you already shared about the facilitators?
Yeah, so I'm still getting more. Benson gave me some information on the facilitators.
Yes.
I have noted some. Let me first check because I had noted down some points to find out about the facilitators. Yeah, I wanted to know the background of Ropani. Apart from just being executive director, what else is she? Because I know Akandu, Benson confirmed to me that apart from being communications expert at ACAV, she is a women rights activist.
Yes, she's a women rights activist.
Yes.
And then also a journalist, you know.
Oh, she's a journalist? Okay.
She's a journalist, so that is...
Let me, now that is way important to include that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so she's a
In
journalist.
fact, her profession is journalist.
Okay.
But for Ropani, Ropani is a social worker. But now with the bias of management, management and leadership, institutional management and leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is also a women rights activist too.
So
women rights activist.
Okay. So which one do I go with? Expert in the meeting
in management leadership, because
we stop the recording.